Cash, and today we're going to talk about me.
Well, yeah, you're funny. In many ways, we are talking about you. We are talking about cash. That is right. We're following up. This is a supplemental to our review of the Dodge Durango. The intent here is we're trying to come at this a little bit differently, and we want to get into the dollars and cents, so to speak, or the cash talk about behind when you decide I want to purchase this vehicle. Unless you have a lot of money, which very few of us do at the time we buy the car, you're going to be looking at either a loan or a lease. And Cash, if you want to start off and talk about differences between the two while I get the numbers up here running.
Yep. So a lease, you pay like monthly, and you get to borrow it for a certain amount of months or years. And then you could buy it after, or at the start you could buy it, and you could loan where you pay over time, or you could just buy it from the start.
That's right. And then there are other things that we need to take into consideration when you're either looking for a loan or a lease, either buy or leasing. And I guess it's just an easier way to talk about it. What are the other things when it comes to a lease, Cash, that you need to consider?
If you lease the car, you can only drive a certain amount of mileage per year, right?
That is correct. And if you go over, typically there's a penalty associated with it that you'll end up being charged on a per mile basis. What else?
If you buy it or loan, then you can just drive how much you want.
Correct. That's right. You can drive 2,000 miles a year. You can drive 20,000 miles a year. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that's a difference between lease and loan?
Right. So if you buy it, you can customize it as much as you want. So if you want to add a supercharger, then you can put it in. But if you lease it, then the lease might not let you put a supercharger in.
That is correct. Yes, exactly right. If you want to customize your vehicle, you have to return it to the original condition. And many times the lease contract doesn't even allow you to do any of that anyways. But typically people do it and just return it and don't never say anything. So, but anyways, let's dive into the numbers as we look at the specifically. This is to the Dodge Durango. So we get into here into our cruising cash lease analysis versus purchase analysis. We can dive right into look at the purchasing numbers. So in the purchase analysis, we first go into what I'll call looking at the MSRP. For this vehicle, it is about the one that we test drove was about $71,000, $70,000 and change. Scouring the car buying websites, the average discounts that we were seeing, roughly 10% off is kind of the standard discount. It's not what we paid. We did get a bigger discount than that, and you can too if you just have to work it harder. But this is solely for comparison purposes, and we just want to be able to show you the difference between the two sets of metrics, because the idea here is it's looking at just analyzing lease versus purchase, and we just want to keep the two on an apples-to-apples comparison basis. We are in Texas, so we're just using Texas taxation rates, which is 6.25%. Roughly title and license costs of just a standard plug-in of about $400, which gets us to a total other costs of $4,394. Total due of $68,294. Looking at interest rates on loans these days, 4%, standard term of 60 months, you're at $1,257.73. It's a pretty high payment for anybody that wants to buy a Dodge Durango. So you would assume a lease would seem very advantageous, and I think you'll find that it is. So we go over to the lease category, and we'll scroll back up to the top here. Same beginning price, $71,000, 10% off, get you down to the same number. In Texas, taxes are capitalized. Some states, most states actually, they only tax you on the payment. And for us, unfortunately, we're dealing with it in Texas where it makes it less advantageous. That's one of the things that hurts you when it comes to leasing here. But we only did an acquisition fee and then the standard title and license costs. Sometimes dealers try to throw in other fees and Security deposits are one of them, right? And you got to negotiate those out. It takes time, and some dealers are a little bit more finicky than others. But you get down to what we call a total capitalized cost of $68,914. And then digging into a lot of the websites that are out there and available to people, your Edmunds, your lease hackers of the world, you can actually find what FCA is currently publishing with respect to your zip codes, your trim models, as well as whatever mileage you're going to do, your 15, your 12,000s, and you can pretty much be able to dive in and get your exact leasing program that the dealer or that the automaker is offering. Some don't publish, most most though do have access to it. But anyways, with respect to the Durango SRT, it's about a 50 for our specific region. And generally speaking, they don't vary a whole lot. But for us, it was about 50% is the residual, which gives us a residual purchase price of $35,500. So we're actually paying the depreciation of about 33 over 36 months. This is a 36-month lease program. We're looking at our net capitalization cost of that $68,000. So we're paying a total amount of we're going back up. $928 is how much we're paying per month in depreciation. So that's our depreciation payment per month. Great. Going back now to the money factor, which is basically your finance charge. From there, we are able to find out the money factor is incredibly cheap here. I mean, incredibly cheap. The FCA amounts that they're trying to put on there, it's almost 0% financing. I mean, it's just mind-blowingly cheap. And when we discovered this, when we were looking at it, it was, wow, we need to lease this vehicle. And so when we add that all together, your total monthly payment now is only $936. Now, again, this is not the program we did because we had a trade, we had a different ultimate purchase price. But the idea here, though, is you sit there and get to the end and say, wow, that's so much cheaper. But at the end of the day, you're also sitting there going, it's a lease, which means you have to adhere to mileage. You have to adhere to the fact that you don't own the car and you are giving the car back. Or are you? You can buy the car at the end of the lease, at the end of those 36 months for $35,000. Well, then you sit there and say, well, why would I do that? I could just purchase the car. I may be paying a higher payment. But I'll be done in 60 months. At 36 months, you may have paid less, but you'll still owe $35,000 to purchase this car. And I thought about that and said, well, let's take it a step further. And this is where I think it's something that people don't look into and analyze very well. We came up with what we call our comparison analysis, the cruising cash comparison analysis. And what we said is, okay, let's look at that $936, that $1,257, and compare the two. You save $321 per month. If you put that into a separate account and you save that over the 36 months, you have now $11,563 in that account. So coming down to the end, month 36, your loan balance after paying that $1,200 a month payment is $28,963.40. Your buyout option is $35,000. Almost dyslexia there. $35,500. If you had saved that cash, that $11,500, you're now buying your car at month 36 for $23,900, $5,000 less than your loan balance, because that money factor is so cheap. You're in essence getting the car for free money for 36 months. And yes, you are paying depreciation, but it's free money. I know it's only 4% money the other way, but this is still a cheaper route to go. Leasing is cheaper, and it's a more effective way to buy the car. You just have to be diligent enough to put that money away on a per monthly basis, which is what we're doing. To be able to buy the car. Now, granted, we had a different set of scenario because we had a trade and money back, all that kind of crazy stuff. But the point is that when you look at cars, it's not just about what is my monthly payment and do I want to lease or do I want to purchase. It's what program is the best out there. And I've been speaking so much, so I know I've been delving into the numbers more than my son has. But the idea here is we want to be able to speak to you and say, offer you different tips when you look at a car and be able to say that there are more than just what's my lease payment versus what's my purchase option payment with the loan. So what do you think, Cash? Do you think we did a good job of leasing this time around?
Yep.
You want to try to do more of this, and every time we look at a car, we'll dive into numbers and get you better off on the numbers?
Yep.
So that's it. I'm Dad. This is
Cruising Cat.
That's right, and thank you for watching. Oh, by the way, if you like the numbers section and want us to analyze more numbers on cars as we do our car reviews, please let us know in the comments section, and don't forget to hit subscribe and the notifications bell. Thanks again.